I felt like the overall oeuvre of these 2 episodes were like really making us think about how in the first season everything was so simple emotions, chaste,
very simple,
tepid.
Yeah, no heightened.
Nothing.
I don't think there was a
heightened.
single argument in the first season.
No. And Adam at the end was like, "Damn."
It really makes you miss that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm eating. I am eating.
I love.
It's so good.
I was like, oh, I just want everybody to like take a breath. Because everyone's
so high.
very in it right now.
Yes. This, out of all of the shows we've seen, they have felt the there's only one day left, like, tension the most.
Yeah. I also think this is like such a short show too.
Yeah.
It's just like a week. It's 8 days. Yeah.
We didn't even...
The chat rooms.
We didn't even talk about how Anon chat is like a cornerstone of the gay experience.
I would say it's like a new cornerstone of the gay experience.
Well, I mean, like, back in the day, I felt like it was like emails or...
Oh, sure. Chat rooms.
MIRC. Yes. ICQ.
ASL.
Yeah.
I won't be speaking to that.
I won't be speaking to that, but the girls know what we had to go through.
Oh, the girls know. The girls know.
Yeah.
Grindr is a common term at this point.
Yeah.
This isn't even Grindr. This is
just like
talking.
Anon.
Thinly veiled Anon with 8 people, and you can pretty much narrow it down to who's talking to who.
Yeah.
So we're in Min-sung's room. Again, Hyungjun can't be in the room.
She's chopped. No more chances.
No mas. So Hyungjin, it's just Hyungjin by himself. They're just like sharing back and forth, and Hyungjin is being very like, I don't want to pressure you, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if like telling someone you don't want to pressure them is just like automatically absolves any pressure happening, but I understand. But then like Min-sung in his talking head is like, I don't know why Hyungjun isn't here. And you know what?
I know.
We will come back to this because it is
unresolved.
I think this is the crux of what happens later.
Oh,
I think it all is this moment of him not being in this chat room. And it's for many reasons, it's this moment.
Okay.
I have thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, you were very vocal.
Let's move to Jun Sung's room.
Okay, I have watched enough K-dramas to know that the words that were said was not a mistranslation.
No.
It said 사랑해요. Okay?
I think it was just saranghae. I don't think there was a yo.
saranghae.
But
What's going on?
now, lesbians. Okay. What I'm going to say is that you...
Lesbians, my fellow Zhanghao bias.
Right.
Famously.
Jiung biases.
Yes,
lesbians.
Matthew biases out in the world.
Mhm.
Yes. We see you.
We see you. This is really your territory here. So I'd really love someone to explain what's going on with these 2 men. No, it's very cute. I mean, I said I love you very early to you, but we had been friends for like 3 years ahead of dating. So
if you think about it, they had a similar experience where it's like they were friends first, they were roommates, like, you know, like that.
I mean, sure.
But in like the 3 days.
Condensed down into...
3 years into 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, it's very sweet. Listen, we're so supportive of Sung-oh and Jun-sung.
But it's just fully, I mean, even in the scene later where Jungkook's like, it's like they didn't even know that I was in the room with them.
Hello. Enough.
And even Yoongi and Hyungjin are like, okay, girls.
Thank
All right,
you.
cut
We got it.
Okay.
It's really wild. I mean, congrats.
Yeah, that's the point. You won, girl.
Yeah.
You won the show. PO1, PO2.
I can only imagine that producers were pissed that it happened so early. Because they can't even they can't even draw it out and to be like, who are they gonna choose? We know. Next is Hyungjin's room. And Minsung and Jungkook both show up.
And Jungkook just wanted to like be grateful. And so he was like, "Hi, I'm Beep. Hi, Beep." And Minsung was fully like, "So what are you thinking about? What have you made a decision yet? Who do you like? Who do you don't like?" Like just fully having a deep conversation. And Jungkook was like, "And I'm Beep."
Hey, Beep's still in the room. It's more the same with their conversation, though. I don't think anything.
It's truly because they've never had like a deep conversation yet. So they've
never had a date.
These two group chats are truly just basics. To me, it felt like they were just like, "What are you thinking? How are you feeling?"
Cut to Hyungjun's room, and Minsung is the only one who shows up.
He's already crying, Hyungjun.
And he said, like, Minsung is like, "How was your day today?" And Hyungjun is like, "Nothing went well. It was awful. I had a bad day. Blah, 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 blah."
It was great in the beginning, and then it got worse as it went on.
Yeah. I don't know, girl.
Okay, like... I think we have to get through their cafe dates to fully talk about...
I know,
because I think we have opposite feelings about this situation.
I think we do too.
Yeah.
Because I'm Team Hyungjin.
And I'm Team Hyungjun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Round 1, fight.
Rock'em sock'em. Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there. I don't want to say I'm like Team Hyungjin in general.
You're
felt
empathizing more or sympathizing more with one over the other.
Right. I also just think like it's another case of like somebody getting in their own way.
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Oh my God, stop making the worst decision possible right now. Just stop and think before you..."
Just fully like bowl through.
Yeah. You want a twink? How about you stop and think, okay?
Adam!
Sorry. Also, Minsung's not even a twink.
He's like
he's so cute.
I mean,
I kept looking at him in this episode because he does so much like beautiful,
like
crying.
glamour shots.
Yes, and I was like, "Oh God,
like
he
Kate
really
Winslet.
is a prince."
Yeah,
yeah.
And I really don't blame.
I don't blame either of them being like gaga goo goo gaga gaga ooh la la.
Gaga ooh la la.
Yeah.
Oh God, but Hyungjun is like emotional because even here still feels like he can't truly articulate what he wants to say because he was afraid that Hyungjin was gonna show up.
Yes. Correct. Yep. Hyungjin couldn't because he'd already used one of his on Jungkook's room.
Jungkook. The more that I think about it, I actually think this is a cool idea. Like it's just the
chat rooms?
The chat rooms. The idea that like you can only join a certain amount is really interesting because then it really makes people think of like what is worth using my time.
And then Minsung, he like cries over feeling guilty. He feels guilty that he is genuinely considering two people. Yes. And this is like the really upsetting part is like obviously all of us who are normal people have always wanted to be like, "Oh my God, I wish like what a sad problem to have multiple people
want me." Yeah.
Right? But when you really do swap and you have the shoe on the other foot and you're like, "Oh God, like if I do like both of them back, at what point am I guilty of like stringing them along just for me to make a decision?" And it puts a lot of pressure on the one person who's being liked.
Yes. Okay, in that situation.
And I really understand Bella.
Who do you think he feels that burden to? Like, who do you think he's technically stringing along because he can't decide? Or how are you interpreting Minsung's feelings between both of them? Because they're not equally weighted.
No, they're not. I think he likes Hyungjun more. But I think he doesn't know. I think he also is like, but I like Hyungjin. And I could see like something with him, but I don't know him enough yet.
Yeah.
But we're also so late into the show that I can't
just cut him off.
Right. but I also don't have time to like do anything. There's no more dates.
There's no more dates.
And if you really are because he's like really concerned about Hyungjun's lifestyle. I mean, like and I don't use lifestyle in the pejorative like gay lifestyle, but like
he's
literally like
I work at night.
Yes, third shift girly.
Third shift, and I'm a very like popular person.
Yes, and it's not Min Sung at all. Min Sung is like is he an I?
Probably.
He has to be an I.
Yeah.
And Hyungjun is definitely an E.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very sweet because they're very opposite, and I think that's what works about them together, is that they do complement each other in a great way. But it's also the scary part of being with someone you don't like. You don't fit as well with.
This love triangle is so fascinating because it really is. Do I go for someone who is exciting, like excites me more, or go to the person who like on paper is the perfect guy? He's taking care of me. Mm-hmm. He is always concerned. He's willing to wait. Super sweet. Like,
I would say he's very considerate of Min Sung's feelings.
Yeah.
He's always trying to be very like,
are you okay?
How do you feel? Da, 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 da.
I know. And I think for Min Sung, like, he feels the burden of what that could be like for both. Because I think on one aspect, he may feel like he isn't being heard or seen by Hyungjun, but at the same time, he could also feel really suffocated by Hyungjin.
Yeah.
Because I even could feel it in this one where he was like, I just wanted to kind of like be by myself, but Hyungjin is like, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? You know?
Yeah.
But it was very sweet that Min Sung was getting genuinely emotional because
this is 2 episodes of full Min Sung crying. Actually, everyone cries in these 2 episodes. Yeah. But specifically Min Sung.
Yeah.
The next morning, just to cut back to our couple.
Just to cut back to the winners of the show.
Sungho comes in to wake Jun Sung up. I can't even believe that they're still retaining this like air of like, oh, we're sleeping in different beds.
Just go sleep.
I'm sure the producers were like, you have to sleep separately.
You cannot sleep in Jun Sung's room. Or in Sungho's room.
In Sungho's room. Yep. That's all I'm saying. So he comes to wake him up, and like there's just like it's a hug and like a this and a that, and this is when Jungkook is like,
do they not see
hello?
Me?
And then Hyungjun comes out of the bathroom. He's like, no, we're not. It is 9 a.m. girl. Get out of here. Leave my fucking room. Which although we used to
be so sweet like that, and now we're just colleagues.
Yes, just co-workers.
Just co-workers in the Ampliverse. Ooh. I think mine was better.
I don't think yours
the
was
color.
Better.
I think you had better application, but I like this color better.
This color's so much better. This is like the true Barbie pink.
This is the true Barbie. Mattel,
you're out of your wrong,
girl.
You're out of your wrong.
You're out of your wrong. No, this is voters. Please vote. Okay. Please vote in the comments. Whose nail color?
#Drag Race.
#Drag Race. Are you Team Adam or are you Team RJ?
Hyungjun makes what I'm deeming an American breakfast, except for the mushrooms.
Although, what a slay to be eating giant chunks of mushrooms.
Big old chunky mushrooms. They have an American breakfast. They have French toast, bacon, blah, blah. Hyungjun makes everything, pretty much. He gets a little help from a couple of people, but...
Well, yeah, because Sonu and Sungho are like, girl, get dressed. What are you doing? Girl, come on. Stop making this food. And Hyungjin was like, no, I want to make the food. And at this point, Adam was like, I think everyone is in Hyungjun's side. Like, they want Hyungjun to do... I think they can see that he is putting himself... Like, he's stopping himself from going for it, you know? And they're trying to, like, help him show his best side, I think.
Yes. And he doesn't listen to their advice. And this is the most frustrating part.
And he is just kind of bullying through of like, no, it's fine. It's like, girl, listen to the whispers, like Oprah said. Find the helpers.
When people show you who they are, believe them. So they have breakfast. He goes up once he's done making the breakfast to go change and get ready and shower and everything. So everybody's like eating. And then he comes down and like eats alone because everybody had finished.
Had already finished and he was getting ready. So I mean, I think he was doing this. Like I think this. So okay, here's what I think is going on.
I don't think he can even look at Hyungjin and Minsung at the same time.
I think by cooking the breakfast, that was his way of kind of like showing like I still want to like engage in the group and like give something, acts of service.
Not for me.
But then just like leave because I don't think he wants to like feel that pressure of like getting emotional talking to both of them or having to face them yet.
Because he's still really. I mean, we'll get to it, but he is so mad. He's still so mad.
Yeah.
So he kind of shoots himself in the foot by not having like breakfast with everybody else. And then like I think he thinks Minsung's gonna like eat with him, and then Minsung like doesn't. But I also don't think like Minsung should have to feel that he needs to eat with him or anything. However, the breakfast looked great.
Oh yeah.
I was very hungry that whole.
I know the bacon. I'm more of a cooked bacon. It doesn't have to be like crispy because I'm like, then what am I eating? Am I just eating chips? So I like that.
Yes. Crispy bacon is so. Are you out of your mind?
It is
Are you
good,
serious? Wait.
It is good, but I prefer bacon
with the fat.
Like soft but not like super chewy. Because I think our bacon here is a lot thicker than like I feel like Asian bacon, which like is a little more thinner.
If you're on team crispy bacon, comment below.
Also okay, so team RJ Nails, Adam Nails, team crispy bacon or bacon with a little bite to it, like
al dente.
Yes,
al dente bacon.
Al dente bacon. That's it.
I don't like black bacon, but I like the whole. I like it to not.
Like all of the fat has fully cooked off and has like crisp the rest of it.
Yes, it's so good. And then when you bake, this is the trick. This is what you learned.
That's what I do. Yeah,
is that you bake it in the oven. You put it on like a cookie sheet
with the rack
rack over it. So then it like stays flat. It doesn't like warp. Welcome,
I don't know.
Welcome to Boys Love Cooking.
I don't know what to tell you. That giant plate of bacon would work on me, baby. I'd be like, I'll wait for my man, and we'll eat together.
You wouldn't have even been in the position that Minsung is in, though.
No, because I would.
Because you would have been like,
no,
Hyungjin.
That's my man.
Are you singing "That's My Dad" from Finding Nemo the musical? That I really like Hyungjin's hair in these two episodes.
You are not a fan of the like shellac hairstyle. Yeah.
I just think it's like looks overdone.
Yeah.
And I think this looks like really natural. And I think he has really pretty like curl, like wavy bangs.
Yeah.
So I makes him look very soft. This is when they, in all K-dramas, when they bust out the bangs, you're like,
like around episode 5 or 6, and you're like, oh, they also have a softer side to them.
Yes, I love that. The first time in Vincenzo when he had bangs, I was like, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. It's fine. I have a question because at one point Minsung is like going to do his hair, and Hyungjin is like, what are you trying to do? And they have this like moment of like Hyungjin. He was doing his hair.
your head kind of concaves here.
They keep making like eye contact, and it's very
like Hyungjin was primping
flirty.
his hair, and Minsung was like making direct eye contact with him, and Hyungjin was like, "Oh, don't look at me like that."
Yeah, and then they go into the bathroom and like do it in the mirror. Fix hair, to be clear. Would you date a hairstylist? I have dated a hairstylist.
You did, and then he
named Adam.
He bleached your hair.
Well, he turned it blue.
He turned it black
and blue.
Mm-hmm. And I was so mad because I wanted blue hair first.
And you still and you're 32 and you've never done it.
You're full adult and you can do what you want but you won't let me.
Is your birthday tomorrow when this comes out?
No, this comes out yes. My birthday's on Wednesday.
So then you'll be 32.
Yeah. I can't believe you just outed me.
My Hyung.
No, I don't think I would.
You wouldn't want someone to do your hair every day?
I would date I would date Min Song first to be like the consult baby.
Yeah, guasha. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Pull this back.
Oh yeah.
Pick this up. Yeah, do the whole thing. So now we're going to go into a portion that we did not do in season 1. Well, we kind of did it. I would say we did not do it to this extent.
It wasn't like a specific, unlike in Exchange, where this was like the last thing they did. They had a little bit of it, but it wasn't like a consistent, like, now it's time for the cafe talks to bury hatchets. Like, that was not a thing.
Yeah.
Which, unlike in Exchange, they purposely did.
Sonu is at a cafe, and the first person to come to the cafe to meet with him is JOON Sung.
Yes.
Now, I find this conversation very interesting because JOON Sung, maybe he's just not good at eye contact.
I know.
But he is very carefully, not looking at Sonu.
Yes.
And I also find what's very interesting about this conversation is that he is fully like, you are Sung-ho's, like, ideal type. Like, you're like super well presented, you have a like great personality, you're very warm and welcoming. They are the like two antithesis to each other. And I thought it was interesting that JOON Sung was like, you're the one I have to like concern myself with, you're the one I have to worry about. But also Sung-ho made his choice, which is very great, whatever. I like in this, if we're calling them the two triangles, this triangle, I like these conversations because it's very like, we're putting this to bed. We had a great time.
Yes.
We enjoyed the past week with you.
I think because with this triangle, I think it's like what you said, they are so open to everyone's personalities and what makes everyone different. And it just meshed better in a way that like, no, they're all in an agreement that like what worked at the time worked and what didn't.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, it just happened to be this way.
Yeah.
I think with the other triangle, it's still messy because they're not even at that phase yet. They're still trying to like get to that first part of like, I like you.
Sonu was wearing glasses for 2 of the 3 conversations. He specifically took them off for the Sung-ho conversation.
This was the only time. Yeah.
That was very interesting. Yeah. But if he looked like DK before,
this
with
was
glasses
the most,
on,
yeah, this was the most DK.
I was really going through it, guys. So then Sung-ho comes in after JOON Sung leaves.
And opposite, Sung-ho is like, Sung-ho really like sat there and like looked him in the eye during their conversation.
Yeah. I also thought that the Sung-ho conversation was like really sweet in a way that I didn't expect it to go. I mean, they were like making a bit of a joke about being like, it feels like we're each other's first love.
Yes.
Which I know is like a bit, but like,
that's literally how they've treated it. They walked in being like, it's okay. Like Sonu fully being like, it's okay. Like I really am here just to wish for how happy you are. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. And Sung-ho fully being like, I really treasured and valued our time together. And I'm yeah. Because he wasn't even like sorry or regretful.
No. Yeah, I thought the Sung-ho conversation was very interesting because they got so emotional. And I thought it was like kind of done.
Yeah.
This is what's weird about watching the show over the course of like weeks, where for them it's like day 7.
Yes.
Because like they really haven't had time to process it, because like I think day 5 is when he made the choice that it's JOON Sung, so it's only been 2 days.
But Sung-ho is...
But for us, it's been like 3 weeks. We're like, yeah, move on. We get it.
But Sung-ho is like, he can't even like look at... Like, he's been like my favorite person to watch in the show.
Oh, he's so
because
sweet.
He's so genuinely sweet and like so true to his emotions.
The scene later with Min Sung too. Oh my God.
I'm like, and I am in love with Sung-ho.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just like such a pure heart.
Yeah.
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 Are you crying?
And I just think in the world we live in.
Okay. The one line that Sonu said was, "Thank you for considering me," and I was like, I think like the one thing I wish I was better at is like gratitude, which is so funny because on this show everything is like grateful.
Yeah, you're always sorry.
Everyone is always grateful. Well, and I'm very.
You can start now. Come on, let's try
with other people. Jungkook and Youngie.
No.
Jungkook and Youngie. This one actually made me cry.
Really?
Yeah, this one made me cry. Because so in the conversation, Youngie is like I mean, I really would say this is like the most he's like actually
Clear
been like
rejection.
it's a no.
Yeah.
Not that you're not a wonderful person, but it's just I don't
feel
the way for you feel about me.
Yeah.
And it was very hard to see that because I think Jungkook, like Sungho, has been someone who I thought has been very like wonderful throughout this whole show and really tried to like be giving. But I think, and we've talked about it a little bit, but I think he's like not. I think he has some stuff he needs to like, not necessarily work on, right? But just like maybe some things he needs to overcome just to make himself feel like more confident in who he is as like in a romantic partnership per se. Probably because he was like with one person for so long that it's hard to like get out of that rut of like whatever.
Am I just finding someone that basically fills in the spot that they left exactly the way they are, or what am I actually looking for in a partner?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really think it was really nice for Jungkook because I think he knows where it's going, but
he's
also
known for like a few days now.
But he also wants to be genuine to his emotions because he's like, I'm here for that reason, is to be brave and to say how
That's why
I feel.
we're on the show, yeah.
And so it's that tough thing of like, I know the answer, but like I have to say these things to be true to myself and how I feel. So even when like Youngie was saying sorry, he was already like, don't be sorry. Like I had to do this. Like we have to do this.
Also, the producers forced us to do
and
this.
Also, I literally have to do it. Otherwise, I won't get my check.
Yeah.
For being on the show.
Yep.
I do like that Jungkook was like, the troubles that I felt of wanting to like, it didn't help because I could see how much in pain you were of Sonu not seeing you.
This was wild. How he was like, I started to hate Sonu.
And I started to resent him. And that's kind of why I feel so strong. I still like linger because I do think if he wasn't privy to that or wasn't seeing that, I think he would have gotten over Youngie.
Yeah.
But I think because they've been roommates the entire time,
yep.
I think he knows how hard it was for Youngie to not have feelings be reciprocated to him.
Yep.
So that's why he's like, well, now I just want to, I can't stop my feelings because I want to take care of you and make you feel better. I mean, that's like, that's why I love dating shows.
I know,
like
it's so good.
Because how that doesn't happen in real life, you know? Like you wouldn't be that I mean, you could, but like
I think it's also very hard. I think what I find really fascinating about watching these shows is like I feel like a breakdown of communication is what always is like the biggest one more often than not. It's like the biggest issue that couples have or whatever. Or just like even in dating in general, like talking is it's so hard to talk and to listen, to do both. What are you saying?
Because I'm just remembering because like how I always talk to you, but it's always in situations where we can't actually look at each other.
Oh, the only time RJ shares like actually how his feelings are at the moment is when we are driving somewhere because I can't look at him. He like makes it is shocking and I call it out every single time. And he's like, what? No. And I'm like, you couldn't tell me this like over dinner? No, it'll be on the way after the dinner back home. He'll be like, so yeah, I've been really stressed lately because of work. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna listen.
So we were just kiki kaka during dinner.
Yeah.
But now when I'm trying to stay on the road.
Right. Cool.
It's because I'm imagining us always on a dating show like his man. So I'm always like, well, I want to give, good material even on the drive back.
Oh, you're so considerate to the producers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to get a good edit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not getting queso, baby.
And what is getting into heaven if not receiving a good edit? You know what I mean? I'm going to skip the cliffhanger because it will come back. Because they don't go immediately to it. So back at home, Joon-sung has started working on these, like, finally somebody has decided to play with these fucking big spools of rope.
Cloth, your rope?
Yeah. And Sung-ho comes in and, like, goes over to hug him and says, I missed you. Girl, it's been an hour. I need you to calm down. I'm embarrassed for you.
We've fully gone full circle now. It's like, now we're past the phase where we're like so excited to see them couple together that I'm like, girl, when we are out in public, when we're all kikiing as a group, don't do this corny couple shit.
No.
Okay? We as friends are all hanging out having a good time.
And then fucking Jungkook is like making food, and he's like cutting onions and starts he's cutting onions, and then they're like, "Oh, are we bothering you? He ha ha."
And Jungkook's like, "Yes." He's saying no because even later, like in the talking head, he's like, "I mean, I'm genuinely happy for them. I'm just like jealous, obviously, but it's like." Whatever. And even they were still like, we're making our Hyung cook for us.
And we're sitting here having won the competition doing DIYs. Shut up.
It's so funny.
It's very funny. Very sweet. I'm very happy for them.
I'm very happy for them. It's so hilarious.
It's very funny. Back at the cafe.
Back at the cafes. Okay, now this one I felt a little conflicted because I couldn't. I did not feel a resolution.
I didn't feel a resolution,
and I don't
either.
know if it's because Sonu just wants to save it for the final.
I mean, he
really is like
good TV.
He is good TV. I think there is a bit of that's going on. I don't genuinely think like, okay, if I think about it more by tomorrow, there would be a chance.
There was a part of me that I wanted Sonu to be like, it's a no, like the same way Youngie did to him. I wanted him to do to Youngie, but I also want him to be true to himself. And if he doesn't actually feel like it's a firm rejection yet, then I don't think he should just reject him just because he's having doubts. Mm-hmm.
Doubting Thomas.
I have such doubts. So yeah, I don't know. It's really tough. I feel, first of all, I couldn't, this was the other one I cried at, because when he was like, when Youngie said, because you feel 1% more about me, I'll visit you 99 more times to get you to 100%. I was like, who says that? Who comes up with this? There's not a writer on the show. You, first of all, the fact that a 21-year-old could come up with something like that, I refuse to believe it. A 21-year-old man, I don't care if he's gay or straight. No, people aren't having these thoughts. People aren't this intelligent. You know what? Youngie is like the opposite of Hyungjun.
Discuss.
Nope.
In what way?
I feel like
he's a lot more articulate with how he feels.
Yes. And like, I think Youngie has more perception of everything around him.
I think because he might be a little bit more introverted, but I think it's because he's probably a person who just observes a lot.
Yeah.
In general.
I think Hyungjun is like, I don't think Hyungjun is like a great orator, let's say. But I also...
Orator means speaker to the girls.
Okay? To the girls who don't know speech and debate. He brings it up later in him and Hyungjin's conversation, but like he is so oblivious to everything else that's happening on the show. Yeah. Almost in a way like Joon-sung and Sung-ho are also very oblivious because that's because
they've already linked.
Yeah, they're honeymooned.
Yeah.
They're honeymooning.
And I think Hyungjin thinks that way, but Min-sung's like, girl, no.
Maybe he's not exactly the opposite. I shouldn't go that far, but
I think
it was shocking to me this episode how like
opposite in communication
has this beautiful speech that he gives, and even him in it is like, I had so much more I wanted to say, but there's something about Sonu where I look at him and I can't like get my thoughts out, which is crazy to me because he still said that. And then like Hyungjun is just stumbles through the rest of this episode, tripping over everything he could possibly trip over.
I know.
Like it's a full clown car routine.
I know.
Okay, we have to get to it. I do want to say this before we move on, that Sonu says that he really wants to be a good brother.
And that's okay. So, and I remember saying like, I feel like there's something about this show where all of the singles, primarily probably with this couple more, that they have to find that balance of like, I have to put you down in like a not interested romantically, but I truly, truly want to stay friends or like stay connected. And so there's a sense of like not wanting to break their hearts so much that they can't move forward from that. Like, I do think Yoongi, like when he was putting Jungkook down, like he's probably afraid of that because he's like, I really still like you and feel like you understand me and I want to be close, but I just not in that way.
Yes.
And I think Sonu is in that same place too.
Yeah. I also feel like old adage of like, there's a million other fish in the sea. Like, I've always felt like doesn't apply to gay people, even though, like, I live in a big city, whatever, like, anything could happen. But, like, you're always cognizant that your pool of people to potentially pick from is just smaller in general because it's only a certain percentage of, like, the globe or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've always tried to, like...
Especially, like, in Korea, where it's, like...
Who's out?
Who's out?
Yeah.
Because then even if it's not like people that are out, you've already made a connection of someone that's like, for Yoongi, like an older person that has gone through what I'm going through right now that I can rely on.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Sonu wants. Like, I still want you to see me as that person because I want to be that person for you. But if this doesn't turn out okay, like if aren't interested in dating, like.
But I also think there's a lot of the gay experience too, especially in romantic relationships, where because we have a lot of the similar trajectory in like, we have to come out, we have to do all this stuff that like I don't think straight couples really have to experience in the same way because they're not forced to go through trauma in order to like become an adolescent and become like an adult.
Oh,
and I'm trying not to say this like liberally,
obviously. Yes,
but what I mean is like. There is a certain empathy I feel like gay people in relationships give to their spouse or partner or whatever that sometimes is like to the detriment of like, this isn't working out and you're in a bad situation, you're in a bad relationship and you can't get out of it because you keep making excuses. This isn't even like everybody does this. Yeah. Everybody like is in a relationship or people will be in a relationship where they're like, it's not great, but I keep making excuses for the other person because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
What I feel like we've been doing on the show the whole time is being like, well, I can see where Hyunjin is coming from and why he would say that, and of course it wasn't the best way to say that. Or like Sonu, like there's just like, you always
you understand where people are coming from.
Yeah.
And I think in this specific place, like Sonu just wants to kind of still make sure that Yoongi can still see him as someone that he can look up to or like talk to, even if they don't link.
Well, we have to talk about the boys.
The triangle.
Hyungjun and Hyungjin.
Jinmin. What did Jinjun?
Jinjunmin.
Jinjunmin. Jinjunmin. Jinjunmin.
So first up is Hyungjun and Hyungjin.
The Hyungs. The producers knew what they were doing by putting them first, because it literally sets off everything in motion. Did you expect Hyungjun to be as bold as he was?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did expect him to get upset. Okay, here's my issue with this conversation. Okay. Let me just summarize it and say Hyungjun comes in hot. There's never yelling, there's never like raised voices, but there's very intense discussion happening. And Hyungjun is very frustrated, and he says like Hyungjin kind of like he says that Hyungjin wasn't true to his feelings, and so that's why everything feels weird now, because like he had allowed Hyungjun and Minsung to like have couple time together and like step away and like that be that. And so Hyungjun had taken that as like, oh, he's not interested in Minsung, but then in group settings, he would like show affection toward Minsung, and it wasn't until yesterday that he really realized that he does like Minsung as well. At this point, Hyungjin like cries.
Because he doesn't realize that he's made him uncomfortable, obviously doing that.
And he also says he's made the whole house uncomfortable.
Yeah, Hyungjin said... I mean, we saw it. I mean, like in the ziplining, we saw it. Jungkook said something like, you know, people were feeling that.
Yes. Go ahead. I want to hear what you think.
It's not that I'm defending Hyungjun, but I think Hyungjun is also going... The like realization of what's happening outside of just their like lane, all three of them, they all see it in this episode and they all go through it. Like Hyungjin realizes that his actions is making Hyungjun feel this way. Minsung is realizing his lack of actions is causing Hyungjun and Hyungjin to feel a type of way.
Yeah.
And then Hyungjun's actions and lack of paying attention to other people's actions is causing, you know, like they're all learning kind of like, totally. It's not as clear as I have been just trying to push through. And so I don't feel as kind of, I think Hyungjun is obviously more clumsy about it because he is so bold in this conversation and through the conversation realizes that he was kind of like a little stupid this entire time of not realizing everything else that was happening.
Right.
And so I do think that he ends up being more frustrated in himself. Like, I feel like his entire conversation with Minsung, even though he's like, I think like affects Minsung, he is more frustrated that like he let himself kind of not be smarter about everything. Because here in this conversation with Hyungjin, he's like, I live simply. I'm just seeing things at face value. He is like, I'm not seeing anything with subtext.
Right.
And I think he realizes that like not everyone is like that. And he's kind of having to like force himself to realize, oh crap.
So here's my thing about, let's just save this conversation for now. My frustration with this conversation is that he is frustrated with the situation, but I don't love that he like takes it out on Hyungjin.
I know.
But then I wish he would just take it out on Hyungjin and then not do this like thing that was really bothering me, where he kept being like, I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but... And then proceeds to tell him that everything he was doing was wrong. And I'm like, you can't couch it by being like, but you're not doing anything wrong, but I'm going to tell you everything you were doing wrong. Just because you say no offense doesn't mean people won't take offense to what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That really bothered me.
But I think
he's super frustrated, and I totally understand his frustration.
I wish that he was just like, I know you didn't do any of these on purpose, but this is how I felt. And I wish he just stopped that. I think he freaked out because he started getting, like, Hyungjin cried. And so that's why he was trying to be like...
That also made me mad when he was like, why is he crying? I should be the one crying. And I'm like, because he didn't expect you to come in here and start, like, getting hot with him out of nowhere. I think Hyungjin knew, like, Hyungjin was going to come in and they're going to talk about Minsung.
Yeah.
But I don't think he expected him to be like, you've been, like, two-faced. He's basically like, you've been two-faced this whole time. And I think, like, Hyungjin was like, I haven't felt that I've been two-faced in any way this whole time. I think Hyungjin, and what some of our frustration with Hyungjin has been, is that he's been trying to not be two-faced. Like, the reason he pulls Jungkook aside and tells him everything he told him that we were obviously so upset about is because he's really trying to be like, I'm really trying to be true to my feelings. I don't want to be perceived in a way that's not true to who I am or what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the reason he was hurt, is because, like, I have been going overboard on trying to do the right thing that
to the point where I almost
someone
hurt someone else. Yeah.
And now you're telling me that I'm still doing it wrong. And that is why he is frustrated.
And I do wonder that's probably something that he probably gets a lot, I'm sure, like outside of the show. Yeah. I think I mean,
maybe not, but yeah.
I do think he is going about this show the same way, I think, as Hyungjun, but just like it's coming off differently. Like, he is someone like, I'm feeling something, I'm gonna go for it. Because like as soon as he felt like Sonu was done, he just like went to Minsung because he was like, I still have feelings for him, I'm just gonna go for it. So in his mind, he is also doing the same thing that I think Hyungjin is doing, but I think for Hyungjin, it was just one person the entire time, and he just misunderstood that, like, now no one else is interested in Minsung, then I'm scot-free, you know?
Yeah. Hyungjun, like, I don't know. There's this whole, like, I think he's probably maybe a naturally jealous person.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I find that energy exhausting in a real way that, like, it's even hard for me to watch shows that have that as a plot element.
I know.
Because I'm like, I have truly been there.
Unless it's for comedy, unless it's purely for comedy,
then it's fine.
But it's these, because it's like.
But also, the craziest part is, like, you are not in a relationship with Minsung. This is what I was so mad about. Is he has been acting like, how dare you encroach on this thing that we have? You don't have a thing. You have, like, sparks. You definitely have chemistry. Mm-hmm. But, like, the fact that Minsung still hasn't chosen you, sweetie.
Yeah.
You're on a show. You're on a dating show. It's just insane to me to be like, well, we clearly have chemistry with each other, so no one should, like, come in and disrupt it.
That's like clear to you. Well, it is. Well, because everyone is kind of. You don't think, like, Sonu, like, everyone else in that house is kind of treating that they've already matched too. I think that's why
I think everyone is rooting for him, because I do think of the two of them, I think Hyungjun is the more fun personality that they all like to be around, and I think they probably just like him more than Hyungjin, to be quite honest. Mm-hmm. It very much feels like Hyungjin is not in the in-group in the house. Not that there's, like, cliques or anything, and not that they're rude to Hyungjin, but there is, like, a banter and a lightness that when you see them as, like, a group that Hyungjun has with everybody that Hyungjin does not.
I think Hyungjun is just good with groups. Like, I think he's just really good about making everyone feel good. I think, like, Sonu.
I think so too. But I think it's very frustrating to be like, we are clearly this established thing when, babe, you're not. And, like, I understand. I also am a person who cries very easily when, like, I am
on the hot seat.
Yeah, what is it called when you come at somebody?
Confronted.
When you're confronted, that is the way I react a lot of the times, is I'll just start crying because it's a lot for me to, like, my brain to process, and I have a very hard time with it. So when he was like, I don't even know why he's crying, he shouldn't be crying, I was like, oh, don't do that, because crying is just like,
it's just a default. I think that was...
Crying is not a weakness.
I think him saying that, I think that's just, like, setting up that, like, everyone cry. This whole situation makes everyone cry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even he does it, like, even outside of
he did it earlier during the fucking chats.
He does it in the chat.
Because he realized he, like, had given up his chat. Yeah.
He does it in his car ride alone. Like, yeah.
I feel so bad for both of them because there's only going to be one winner, right? Yeah. Minsung is going to choose one of the two.
Yeah.
Now, Goop and Gag, if he doesn't, he chooses, like, Jungkook, I would scream.
Or pick Sunu. It's like, I'm just here for sisterhood.
Yeah, sisterhood, yes. But one of them is going to win. It's probably going to be Hyungjun. But I just felt like in this episode, I was like, oh, Hyungjun, stop talking. Because you're just talking to talk. And then he wasn't really listening to what Hyungjin was saying either. And that's why I was like, yeah, but you just want to yell and then be mad about it and then feel better. But, like, that's not how... It doesn't work like that. Conversation doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You don't get to just yell and then not have to receive anything back in return. So, that's how I felt. Obviously, I'm still rooting for Hyungjun. Because I do think him and Minsung are really cute together. But I do think Hyungjin has been very sweet to Minsung.
So attentive and, like...
Very sweet.
Oh, so conflicted.
And I totally understand why Minsung is so, like, Hyungjun leaves. Minsung comes in. And Hyungjin is, like, immediately has to go from, like, he just got told about himself.
Yeah.
To now he has to be like, hi, everything's great.
Yeah, let's get to know each other.
Because they've never had a date. Oh my God. Gays. So they have like I think it's a nice chat. He's like, oh, let me take your coat for you. Like, I think he's trying to be very boyfriend energy, which is fine. I will say this. They do not have chemistry in the way that Hyungjun and Minsung do.
I know.
They really don't.
I know. And like, I was telling you this, like, they're really painting the picture that like on paper, Hyungjin is the perfect guy for Minsung. Like, keep like very cool, calm, collected, takes care of him, like really attentive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just something with the body language, like how they interact with each other, that it's just not even like at
when
the best
Hyungjun leaves with him and Minsung turns around and watches him go the whole. It's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy. It almost is like, Minsung, just make your choice, girl.
Just make your choice. You
just
know
say
you want to do it. And it's
like,
if you just do it now, like there's no confusion.
I know. Just make the choice, girl.
I didn't even
because he's still leaving the opening, and that's why Hyungjin is like, oh, well, if he hasn't actually chosen Hyungjun yet.
I never made that connection, but you were totally right. Like
the fact that Minsung leaves his conversation with Hyungjun, I'm sorry we're skipping, but the fact that he leaves that conversation with Hyungjun and feels like somewhat better, even though like Hyungjun didn't even answer the question that Minsung had asked, which was, why didn't you join my chat? He goes, why didn't you join my chat room? And Hyungjun goes, he like answers with a question. And I was like, no, that's not answering the question, Hyungjun. You should have said, I wasn't ready to be in the same room with you and Hyungjin.
Yeah.
But like, he can't even admit to himself that he was like frustrated enough about it.
Yeah.
Or like admit that to him, because it would be I was like, oh my God, Hyungjun. I know. I was truly like, Hyungjun.
Because you're right. We are all rooting for you. He does like you. Just like.
Also, we're going to watch the show back. You're going to watch it in 6 months and be like, oh my God.
I was a fool.
Yeah.
Cabo.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go back. Hyungjin, Minsung.
Hyungjin is like, I can't lie to you. I just talked to Hyungjun and he really like rattled my brain. I can't even think right now.
And Minsung is like, I do not want to hear any of it. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. That is between you two, and I don't want to be a part of it.
And you know what? Minsung is a better person than me, because I would have been like, girl, tell me the absolute fucking. Can we get a round of tea? Tea?
This shows to me, ultimately, what I think ends up being the reason why Minsung takes Hyungjun's conversation really hard is because this, I mean, he's right here to like not get into this, right? It's part of him truly trying to like avoid the two of them. And that ultimately for him, he's like, oh, I realized that me doing that has made both of them feel so confused, and that's why they're in this position.
It really sucks
because I think
how
he knows
guilty he feels.
He feels so guilty that they're having this. That's why he doesn't want to know, because he knows it's
about him. Yeah.
This show is so good. It's so shocking how good this show was.
It's so good.
I did not have any expectations.
These episodes have gotten better each week.
I know.
It's crazy. I actually think next week is going to be a little bit of a letdown. I'm going to be really honest.
Yeah, I think this is
because I think this is the
crest.
climax. Yeah.
So everything's just going to try and resolve.
So, okay. Minsung and Hyungjun.
At first, I thought it was the same cafe that they went to, because it almost looked similar with the chairs facing the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minsung and Hyungjun. Isn't it so funny that they have fully become the main characters of the show?
We've moved on.
The news cycle, just goes so fast in Namiji.
In the 24-hour cable news cycle, absolutely. We're just really on to the next topic.
Okay.
So they're at this cafe. And Minsung is like, why didn't you join my chat? But like,
But then showed regret for it. That was his way of being like, I wish I was there.
Yes. But like, this reminds me of the situation where if he had called, even though he didn't get a voicemail, If he had, so then he was like, oh, so then I'm gonna call Sunu. Remember? So he didn't get a voicemail from Minsung, which you didn't get a voice. I don't like this. Is what the other thing that really bugs me. How do you not know that Minsung is interested in another person
when he never called you?
When there was like, who did he leave a voicemail to then? Hyungjun. He called someone. Girl, don't play this game of being like, I can't even believe that Minsung liked another person.
I think that's the thing that he feels frustrated because he's like, I'm a big dummy. I'm a dummy. Yeah. And he even, like, he literally says it to Hyungjin and to Minsung. That he's like, I am simple. Like, that is... I'm very simple-minded.
It is what we like charming about him.
Yes. But it's so frustrating.
But it's also the thing that is like, oh my God, but you need to be like more aware of what's going on. Yeah. He reacted rashly again because he was like, I just won't be able to be in a room with Hyungjin. Like, he's so upset about it that he's just like giving up. So then he doesn't even have the opportunity. But then to Minsung, it just looks like, well, then do you want, like, do you actually what is this?
Well, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So there is, Hyungjin says that I want to protect myself. And Minsung starts bawling.
Yeah. Because he thinks it's like, I'm causing this amount of distress. Well, and he also cries. He says this to Sungho later. The other reason he's crying is because he says, I'm just going to have to wait for you to make the decision. There's nothing he can do but wait. Because that's what he starts the conversation with. He's like, usually I'm the one in a relationship that's really pushing it. But I realize that I have to be the one this time who just like waits for you to make a decision. And I think that like really, I don't think it like hurt Minsung, but I think it was like,
it's the pressure. It's just like
the realization. It's like finally someone said like, it's all up to you, babe.
It's all up to you. And I think, and that's why he gets emotional because he has been avoiding having to make the decision this entire time. Right. Like he was really hoping that he could just wait until the very last decision where they have to make it. But it's like, no, it's already boiled up to a point that these two men are like, especially one, is like, you've already led me to a path that like we're ready to go in. Mm-hmm. And I think I could tell that Minsung was like, every single time that I refused to like not eat with any of them, you know, the time that I didn't want to be in the same cars, and like all of those small things that in the last episode, Minsung was like, I just don't want to be, which is like the hardest part of a relationship is you have to find that balance. Yeah. Because it's a partnership. Minsung is like crying. Hyungjun is crying. He didn't want to, but then he like couldn't stop himself.
I just like, oh my God, the energy of being like, how are we're not even dating yet and we're already crying about this. I would be so tired. So tired. That's also me being 31 and being like, I could not.
But Hyungjun basically is like, I'll see you at home. Like he wanted to leave.
He leaves so
quickly because he's like, I know I'm gonna start bawling right now. Mm-hmm. Like you said, Minsung like, basically like follows him out with his eyes and it's like, and even turns around. He's like, I'll see you later. And he even like watches him like leave. And then like just like cries in this cafe. Mm-hmm. And then Hyungjun is crying in the car ride back. Mm-hmm. Well.
So at home.
Hyungjin gets home and like immediately sleeps.
Yeah, goes take a nap.
He's like, I can't deal with this.
I'm so exhausted. Hyungjun gets home and like doesn't speak to anyone. Yeah. He goes to like have a smoke, have a little vape.
And he sits with the cookies.
He sits with the cookies and he boxes them back up. And it's a very metaphorical caption where it's like, he tries to put everything back together how it once was, but it can't be as perfect anymore. Girl, if you don't get these damn metaphors off my screen.
I mean, the cookies, that came up in their conversation. Because Hyungjin was like, you give me cookies and then you don't call me?
And Minsung is like, I thought it was clear that the cookies meant I liked you. I'm sorry. I should have made it more clear.
Like he fully like cried about that in the talking head.
Yep.
Because he was like, I thought that was me being clear, but I guess not. Dating, man. Oh.
Min-sung gets home. Everybody's home.
I know, they do this thing where it's like the three men finally face each other without saying a word.
Yeah.
In front of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a little bit where Hyungjun, because they're the last two, they have to eat dinner together. Hyungjin made Minsung an Americano, and Hyungjun and Minsung eat in silence.
Yep.
Well, everyone's like cleaning up and stuff.
Yes, this is the other thing that I was annoyed by is I was like, Hyungjun, you're not. You have to like.
You have to
drop it.
You have to drop it
because like.
But I think that's what's frustrating for him is because
he had this whole thing where he was like, you made the house feel uncomfortable, but you are now like sour pussing around. I know. Why? For what, girl?
I know.
It's so embarrassing. I want to, and like Minsung is trying to like talk to him at dinner and be like, oh, is it good? Do you like it? And he's just like not responding, keeps like looking around. Why are you?
He's honestly, he's giving full like K-drama cold male lead because he's the one that's like, here, eat, and then just like lays and like eats in silence. And it's like the small act is like
so annoying.
But it's like, girl, this is not the time. It's the
also,
last
This isn't
night.
a K-drama, girl. This is real life. And if you're that this is the other thing. If you're that pressed and you're fully like, I really want to be...
I want you to pick me.
I want you to pick me. You should be doing everything possible at this moment.
I know.
It almost feels like he's throwing in the towel. And I'm like, why?
I know.
You like him. Just go for it. He does say like he's like a pacifist, so he really just doesn't like fighting in general.
I think
and
that's
I think
why
that's
he doesn't
probably
want
the
to
biggest reason.
He doesn't want to compete.
Yes.
But it's like, what did you think was going to happen?
I
when
just
you
don't.
got
What did you
here?
think? What was happening on the show? What do you think the show was?
I know. Oh.
I can't believe I'm still rooting for him.
I know, isn't that crazy? Why is he still the person that I'm rooting for?
So then Hyungjin comes over and is like, "Can I talk to you in my bedroom?" So they go into his bedroom.
The Hyungs talk again.
The Hyungs talk again.
And Hyungjin basically just is like, I just want to make sure that you know that I am sorry for how I made you feel. And Hyungjun is fully like, it's done, buried under the hatch.
And Hyungjin is like, maybe I should just like quit.
Yeah, he was like, I could just stop.
Yeah.
And even Hyungjin was like, no, it's what this is. How considerate I think Hyungjin is being.
Yes.
Is so insane because it's like huge. Like it's huge.
Grow up, gays. And then finally, Minsung and Sungho are like talking in the bedroom about what happened, and Minsung and Sungho both start crying as Minsung is talking about it.
Sisters, because they realize they're both the main characters of the show.
Yeah, they're like, I can't believe it.
Us two ingenues.
Yeah.
Hyungjun writes a letter.
Oh right,
and a little like packing cube, basically.
Yeah,
and gives it to Minsung. And then basically the teaser for the next episode is like, what did Hyungjun write for Minsung?
There was a moment when he was putting the packing cube on. I thought he was giving the cookies back.
I thought he was giving the cookies
and
back.
I was about to scream.
I know. I really thought so too. They kept bringing it up so often this episode that I was afraid that. And then when he grabbed it and like looked at it, yes. I really thought he was going to give the cookies back.
And that's why he was like tying it back up again.
I know. I was really
I thought he
scared.
was giving the cookies back, and I was going to be like, you are a clown.
You are officially lost it. Because if you do that, then it's done.
Then it's done. Then you have
That
done
is
the meanest thing you could do.
Yeah.
To Minsung, who hasn't done anything wrong. I know. Other than just be like, I'm really nervous about dating someone who like has a different lifestyle than me. Just a totally valid concern.
But I do wish that they talk about that. Because I wonder if it's frustrating. Like, because knowing Hyungjun, he knows that that's not probably what Minsung is actually worried about. Hyungjun thinks it's just Hyungjin. Like the reason why Minsung is hesitant is because Hyungjin is there. But we know Minsung is genuinely hesitant about picking him.
Yes, he has not said blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But also, like, I don't know if I had a hesitancy if I would go to the person and be like, this is why I'm nervous to date you. Do you know what I mean? This early? We've known each other 7 days? You know, do you know what I'm saying?
But if it's really weighing
I would
that
talk to my girls about it. I would talk, which he has done.
She has, yeah. But if it's really weighing this final decision.
Yeah. I mean, he has to make a decision no matter what. They all have to make a decision. Everybody has to make a decision.
Okay. Are we doing... You think you want to guess voicemails or you want to guess final decisions before the last episode?
I mean, I feel like it's the same answer. Yeah.
Let's do easy to hard.
Okay, I think Jungkook is gonna choose Youngie.
Youngie will call Sonu. Hyungjin and Hyungjun will call Minsung.
Okay.
Which the two sisters are the ones that I don't know who they're gonna pick.
I think it would be weird if Sonu picks Sungo.
Yeah, I think they're done.
Because they're so much a couple at this point. It's so obvious that, like, this is the level of obvious it needs to be for you to feel like, oh, we've got this on lock and I don't need to worry the rest of the show.
Yes.
Hyungjun. You are not at this level with Minsung yet.
I think Sonu...
You think he's going to pick Youngie?
Will pick Youngie. Okay. I think he's going to use this an opportunity to be like, you know what? Because he says, like, he reminds me of the guy that I first dated. Remember?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll be like, I know the age thing will be something that we'll have to work through, but I'd much rather kind of start something new with this final decision.
Yeah. Also, I just feel like just go for it.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't work out, let that happen.
So short. Why waste time being? I don't know. It's just like, just go for it. And if it doesn't work, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like, that happened on the first Singles Inferno. There was a girl that picked a guy, or they ended up just like picking each other, and I think they dated for like maybe like a few days, but then they were like, I think we're just friends. So like that's totally valid. And I think like if you know that someone at least has a connection with you, I think that's totally valid to do that. If you're both on those terms, at least of like, let's see where this can go.
Yeah.
Because I think Sonu can do that for Youngie, and I don't think Youngie will take it as like, we're meant to be. I think Youngie will be like, this is the opportunity I've been waiting for, just to like show that like outside of the show, maybe I can be a good match.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that happens.
I would like that happen for Youngie.
Yeah.
Also, I think Sonu's a good guy.
I think so too. Yeah.
We've talked about it. We were not beating the dead horse. I think he's going to choose Hyungjun.
I think he's going to pick Hyungjun too.
I hope he calls Hyungjun. I hope he leaves the voicemail for Hyungjun too.
Who do you want him to pick?
I want him to pick Hyungjun.
I know, me too.
But
here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. This doesn't feel like a change day situation where it's like they're so passionate that they just keep fighting all the time. I don't think I think I can see them fight.
But do you know how this reminded me of Change Days?
Who? Was
when Hyungjun left the one-on-one with Minsung and then cried in the car after.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, just cry in front of him. Who cares? Yeah. Also, Exchange. Because what's his name? What was her boyfriend's name? The hockey player.
Yes.
He did the same. Hido did the same thing where they
like have a fight, but then
he got out of the car and cried
out.
My God.
They had to stop the car.
The way I cried when he cried.
Yeah.
Wow. That episode when he walks through the like museum of their relationship.
I know, and guys, Exchange really broke us. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That show was crazy. I have never seen people who I was more like, you should not be together. You are bad news bears for each other. You actually both need to work on yourselves. But then they still were like, we need it. And I was like, you don't. And I still was rooting for them. Yeah. I hate it.
But yes, no, like, I think there is so much passion between Hyungjun and Min Song, that to me it's like that passion means that they really care about each other. Because I mean, it's the other way around of like the Son. You could be like the Sonu, be in a relationship with someone for 2 years, and I was like, I never felt anything.
Yes, I think there's always a middle ground.
There's always yeah.
Because I think it sometimes can look very glamorous to be like, we're so impassioned, like we fight and we have sex and we fight and we have sex, and it's like, your life probably shouldn't be that. That shouldn't
be how your life should be.
Right. Yeah. But you definitely want to feel intense emotion about your love life to some degree. You don't want to be like apathetic about it.
Yeah. I do want him to pick Hyungjun.
I want him to pick Hyungjun, but
I want them to learn from each other.
I thought this episode, I really like understood a lot about Hyungjin, and I thought I was like, I realized that I was like, oh, he's been trying to like be so transparent that I think that is what has gotten him into trouble previously.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think everyone's just trying to like do their best.
I know. It's just interesting coming from these two, because I feel like
also the two who came in late. Yeah, it's weird.
I feel like there's always a syndrome with the people who come in late. I mean, at least it's not like Exchange where the last guy literally came in for the last 4 episodes. Like, that was insane.
Oh.
But I mean, like, he was perfect and like
a perfect man.
And they're still together. So
I am
like,
obsessed. Should we go back and do a full Exchange podcast?
28 episodes all over again. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna go
Patreon.
Crazy. That's gonna make me go crazy.
We'll do reactions and recaps separate.
Just let me. A third of my year will just disappear because I've already watched it once, and now
it's so good.
Think about it. We'll think about it.
No, we should do Exchange. We should do, if there's an Exchange 3, we should do that.
If there will be an Exchange 3, we'll do it.
I miss Wonbin.
I miss Wonbin too.
Who are you voicemailing?
If I knew everything that was happening, like I knew what the conversations were, I think I would call Hyungjin.
Okay, I was gonna say Hyungjin, mostly because of his bangs.
I was like, first of all, girl, for a hairstylist, don't do your I mean, he did this hair, like he still styled it, but I'm like, girl,
wet boy.
Same advice that he gave to Jungkook. You become a completely different person when you show your forehead. He became a completely different person by not showing his forehead.
By hiding it. Yeah.
Wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, I would call Hyungjin just to kind of like let him know that like,
listen, I'm having a great time.
I want to call him to be like, you are right in kind of like trusting your feelings and going with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think don't make it your fault that other people are just not reading that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone's feeling really guilty in this love triangle for situations that they're all just being true to themselves.
Right. It's tough. It's tough stuff.
It's tough. I cannot believe the show has like not only like our recaps of doing His Man, but like His Man in general is like giving us so much this season. It's insane.
Yeah. I really thought it was not gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like last year, where it was like,
it's nice. We get to talk about gays being nice to each other.
Yeah. I think what the one thing I missed from last year is I really felt like there was like a clickety clack sisterhood. I don't feel that as much.
They're
this year.
so much more.
I think it's probably happening. There's just so much going on.
There's so much going on that they can't even show the
it.
sisterhood. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I think most of them are still pretty close from season 1. Yeah, I think except for Chaos Twink. I think he's the only one that's not like fully close with the group.
Yeah, he was so cute.
Okay.
Discovering voices, building worlds.